Welcome to the Oneapp Academy podcast. I am your host, Abby, and today we are diving into a topic that is very popular right now, and that is how to crack an Oracle Cloud ERP job interview. So whether you are applying for a functional, technical, or consulting role, this episode will hopefully help you to prepare, practice, and perfect your responses to the most commonly asked questions. So grab your coffee and notebook because this is going to be a game changer. So before we jump into the actual questions, let's understand what employers are really looking for in an Oracle Cloud professional. They're not just looking for your technical abilities. There's also several other things that they want to see, and one is your understanding of the Oracle Cloud applications. They're also looking at your ability to solve real-world ERP challenges, and they also want to see your problem-solving skills, as well as how good you are at communication and teamwork. Now let's break down the most common technical, functional and behavioural interview questions, and also let's look at how to answer them. So in this section I'm going to talk about the common technical questions, and I'm also going to show you some example answers which may help in these types of scenarios. So question 1, what is Oracle Cloud ERP? And how is it different from on-premise ERP? So the approach that I would take to answering this question would be to explain that Oracle Cloud ERP is a cloud-based subscription model that offers scalability, real-world analytics, and automatic updates. I would also try to compare it to an on-premise ERP solution, just mentioning items such as traditional licensing, manual updates, and the dependency on infrastructure. And then talk about Oracle's key cloud offerings, so offerings such as financials, procurement, and HCM. So now let's take a look at an example answer that I would use for this question. Oracle Cloud ERP is a cloud-based enterprise resource planning solution that provides businesses with integrated tools for financial management, supply chain, human resources, and more. Unlike on-premise ERP, Oracle Cloud is maintained by Oracle, therefore reducing infrastructure costs and ensuring automatic updates for compliance and security. So this is a short but sweet answer. It helps the interviewer to see that you understand the difference between Oracle Cloud and the on-premise application, and you are also showing your understanding of the benefits of Oracle Cloud. Now let's look at the second question. What are the key modules in Oracle Cloud ERP, and which ones have you worked with? So the approach to answering this question would be, first of all, to list the major modules. So for example, you have financials, you have procurement, SCM, HCM, projects, and risk management. And when the applications are abbreviated, like SCM or HCM, it's useful to expand on that abbreviation. So try to use terms such as supply chain management just to show that you understand what these terms mean. Now the next approach is to highlight your expertise. For example, you can say, I have hands-on experience with Oracle Financials, specifically AP, AR, and GL. And then finally, explain a real-world scenario where you have used the application. So an example answer to this question that I would use is Oracle Cloud ERP includes modules such as financials, procurement, supply chain management, and HCM. In my previous role, I worked extensively with Oracle Financials, particularly in accounts payable, helping automate invoice processing using the Oracle Payables Workbench. And this improved the efficiency of invoice approvals by 30%. Now, the good thing about this answer is that you are not only showing the interviewer your knowledge and understanding of Oracle Cloud, but you're also showing how you've benefited an organization that you have previously worked for. For example, when you say things like you've improved efficiency or you have reduced costs. And this is a really good thing to do in an interview or even to mention on your CV. Now, let's look at the third question. How do you troubleshoot an issue in Oracle Cloud? So the approach to answering this question will be in 3 stages. So first of all, try to mention debugging tools that you may have used before, such as SQL queries or OTBI. And then secondly, explain a structured troubleshooting process. So what is the first thing that you do to troubleshoot? So the first thing you would do is try to identify the issue. The next thing is you would analyze log files, and then you replicate the issue, and then finally you test the fix. And then if you have done this type of thing in the past, then maybe try to provide an example where you have completed this approach. So an example answer that I would give in this type of interview would be, when troubleshooting an Oracle Cloud ERP issue, I follow a structured approach. First, I identify the issue by checking error logs in Oracle. Next, I replicate the problem in a test environment and I use SQL queries to check the affected data. In a recent project, we encountered an issue with invoice approvals which failed to generate workflow. By adjusting the approval hierarchy and testing it in a sandbox, we resolved the issue within 2 hours. So the great thing about this answer is that it is structured and you're using real-world examples which actually make a big difference from a consultant's perspective. So the interviewer will be able to understand and appreciate your methodology. So in the next section, I want to look at some common functional questions and answers. So the fourth question is, can you describe a successful Oracle Cloud implementation that you were a part of? Now, the approach that I would take would be to use the STAR method. And the STAR method is in 4 parts. The first is looking at the situation, talking about the tasks, the action and the results. So mention the project scope. So what were the requirements for the project that you worked on? And then talk about the challenges that you faced working on that project. Talk about how you resolved those challenges. And then talk about the impact that you had working on that specific project. Because obviously you would have worked as part of a team, and every person in that team would have had an impact. So it's a really good idea in interviews to talk specifically about the role that you played and how it benefited that project. And also quantify the results, which is a similar item to what I mentioned earlier. So talk about how you reduced processing time by 40% or you reduced costs by 20%. Now, an example answer that I would give to this question is to say, I was part of a financials cloud implementation for a multinational client. The challenge was migrating from an outdated legacy system while ensuring minimal disruption. My role was to configure the general ledger and integrate it with external reporting tools. By optimizing workflow configuration and automating reconciliations, we reduced financial closing time by 40% and also we improved reporting accuracy. So the great thing about this answer is it has a structure to it. It has a nice flow. You're talking about the STAR method, so you're talking about the situation, the task, the action and the result. So in this next section, I want to talk about behavioural and soft skills questions. So a typical example of this type of question will be, tell me about a time you had to handle a difficult client or stakeholder. Now there are 3 ways that I would approach this question. The first step is to show empathy, problem solving, and also communication skills. So try to describe how you have been empathetic towards a difficult client, how you've solved a problem without making that client feel any more agitated or stressed out. And also talk about how you used your communication skills to approach that scenario. And once again, use the STAR method. So talk about the situation, the task, the action, and the result. And try to focus on how you resolved the issue professionally. So once again, it's important to talk about how you worked as part of a team, but also talk about how you specifically helped to resolve that issue. Now, an example answer that I would use for this question is, in one project, a key stakeholder was unhappy with the Oracle Cloud reports because they didn't match the legacy system reports. I scheduled a meeting to understand their concerns and demonstrated how Oracle Cloud ERP offered more accurate real-time data. Then, after adjusting the report formats to their preferences and providing the necessary training, the client was satisfied and adoption improved by 25%. So we can see here that this answer used the STAR method approach. We talked about the situation, dealing with the stakeholder and their issue with the reports. We talked about the action that was taken and the result. So that brings us to the end of the podcast. So let's do a quick recap. So first of all, know your Oracle Cloud applications and real-world applications. Secondly, prepare structured answers using the STAR method. And then finally, showcase problem-solving skills in troubleshooting and stakeholder management. And most importantly, practice, practice, practice. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe, share, and also leave a comment. And also check out our other videos for more career tips, training, and other resources. So thank you for your time listening to this podcast. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing.